You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, a look at news, reviews, and other happenings from a galaxy far, far away. Here are your hosts, Scotty and JD.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life. That's what I'm going to go with. I was going to be dramatic, and I can't be. I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by, as always, our Jedi Master,
JD.
And the man who puts men into Mendos.
It's me.
Co-host.
Hello.
Drew.
I'm Minning Mendoz. They did play the Mandalorian theme song last night at the South Alabama game.
Oh, that was cool.
And it was right before this epic fail that happened.
Nice.
And I was like, well, you just ruined it.
Thanks.
But it's weird because it's kind of fun. Star Wars fact, when I was a kid, it was always Imperial March.
Right.
I don't think I've heard that since, right? Disney probably was suing everyone. And
They're like, the people,
we mandate now you must use new canon stuff, and no one wants new Star Wars songs. So like, can we use the Mandalorian? You're like, yes, we'll give you rights for that.
So can I suggest this?
Yes.
Perhaps it's too close to Nazis to make people uncomfortable.
Probably so.
And so they're like, well, the Mandalorian's not really a Nazi, so we can do not Mandalorian music.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate.
Right, so.
But it was fun to hear the updated version.
Cool.
They don't play the Blitzkrieg Bop anymore. You know, those are all gone.
Because that has a Nazi word in it?
Yeah, Blitzkrieg Bop does.
No, that's why I'm asking. I'm serious. Like, they don't. Is that why they don't play it?
No. It's just not popular anymore. They play
Okay, I was like-
rap songs and stuff.
It's time to play WAP.
WAP songs.
No,
With
WAP.
With Baba Waters.
I followed that train of thought, sadly.
Oh, by the way, hey, look, there's a Padawan.
Hey, yeah.
Gelman, our Padawan. He's got a new
Where's
name.
your brain, Gelman?
Like his new lower third will be Gelman. Oh my God! Thank you. That's gonna go in the show. That's a new show thing. I didn't know you did a bad Regis.
I didn't either until just now. You know, most of the time when I do that shit, it's like, let's just try it.
That's what's happening in here, and then nothing stops it from coming out
Right.
here.
My filter, I just take it out at
No,
the show.
it doesn't. There's no way there's one you can put in.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Is
Look,
there?
Yeah, I still have a job.
For now.
For now.
so Kayla, what's up?
Nothing much. Just watched Venom recently, and
As in like a minute ago,
Yeah.
you just saw it.
But Venom's been out for years.
well, Venom 2.
If you don't see Electric
okay.
Boogaloo,
God, I wish it was called that. I was about to say it. Couldn't get it to it. Carney Boogaloo.
we have moved Gelman to his more permanent spot. He was on the couch because we didn't have a place to put him because the studio had a toy store that threw up inside it.
Yeah.
Because I own a toy store. I had so many toys I didn't know where to put them. And so I've been working on like cleaning a lot of that out. And so I built Caleb's his spot.
And once
And I'm trying to throw to him. So that means throw to you too. Go to camera
Yeah.
two. There
Well,
you go.
Now I live very far away.
Yeah, you're far away. No, but not
You
too
know.
far. You're just
I'm in a part of the studio far, far away.
so we're basically at the core and you're on Tatooine.
Yep.
Keeping it Star Wars
This
relevant.
is my exile.
Oh, we exiled Caleb.
like, is he going to turn into Kanan then later?
One could hope.
But it would be better if we could make Caleb canon.
I'm already like partially blind, so I'm like halfway there.
He's almost there. He's gonna fight a Sith to get totally blind. So we last left the show talking about Visions. I finished it. You're almost done.
Yeah, I finished through 7 because it was a real weird week for me.
That's
so
okay.
I wasn't able to.
You don't have to defend
There's
yourself.
no judgment.
I did,
No,
no,
it
there's a little from me, but there was a lot of pain involved this week. So I
if,
just
if
didn't want to do
Caleb
anything.
can figure out where we stopped at,
we stopped at
5, I thought.
the
5.
9th.
We stopped. Yeah, we stopped
9
just
Jedi.
before Toby.
Oh, good. So now we talk about Toby and the Elder. That's the two we went, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
TOBI or
T0B1 or 2B1.
Yeah.
2B1 or
I mean, it was cute.
Toby 1.
He wanted to be one Jedi.
So this was the Mega Man version of Star Wars. because that's part of Japanese culture. They wanted a Mega Man. And
Dr.
Ash
Wily went too far this time.
had no arms, man. That freaked. I didn't realize he didn't have any arms to start. He started like using the Force to move things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of lazy. Oh wait, no, he has no arms.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel bad. I'm an ableist.
No, he was half Anakin, so like
Speaking of, I can't wait to talk about
he was just 1-2, not 1-2-3-4.
right.
So
Yeah, half an ant poor.
we'll call that a half-akin.
African.
African. He's just a sky because he can't walk. Hey!
How do you walk? Because he still had his legs, but not his arms.
Who?
Mitsurugi. I can't remember his name.
Oh, I was making
Professor.
I was saying Anakin.
I know. I was
Professor Mataka.
I
There we
was
go.
I was branching.
Of course,
the joke.
Caleb knows.
I was
Oh,
branching.
I
the
you
looked
were
it up.
pushing the
Oh.
I was.
Don't give away your secret. You're bad at producing.
Is he googling?
He's googling.
He's googling on the clock. You're not supposed to Google it. Oh, that's why we took you off the couch. Casting was over, sir.
Wow.
Jedi Master went there. Went there early in the show too. Wow.
I mean, we didn't even get 7 minutes in.
Right, using that explicit tag early.
Anyway,
So Robot Kunta Kinte was just doing his thing.
Nope.
Yeah.
His name is Toby. Come on.
nope.
I'll go there.
I'm not even gonna go with the thing we had, the conversation we had in the car on the way here.
Oh, I will. So I pick him up today, and we talk about Toby, and I make the Kunta Kinte joke because I think it's funny, and he goes, "I don't think I'm allowed to make that joke."
I'm not allowed to make that joke.
I think you're allowed. I said, "Well, I'm not either because I'm not African American." He goes, "No, you can make that joke because you're all together." And I'm like,
I
"That's
did
what-"
not say that.
You're all
I did not
together.
absolutely say that.
I guess it implied.
God.
And what I said was no because that's what we're trying to fight against.
All that trouble before the show to not get canceled today, and Scotty's like, "Here's a bus."
Hey, it's dark under here.
Look, we have
What's that beeping?
Yeah.
Go there. It is again.
6 invalid people watch the show. I'm happy that 4 of them. If they want to cancel, they can watch Regis filming.
Never mind.
Reruns of Regis
Right,
and
yeah.
Cappy Lee.
So I'm
Or
happy.
Kelly.
I make the show mostly for myself and my friends. Whoever want to watch it.
Whoever stumbles in.
Yeah, I don't care who cancels us. But
Yeah, so Toby's lame.
You tell me it was lame.
It was
I-
not fun.
I like it for the most part. I like the art style
turn this off.
because I kind of like that classic like anime Mega Man with like
It felt like 70s.
Astro Boy.
Yeah, it felt like Astro Boy to me.
It
Like
looks
70s
great, but
style.
it's, like again, there's no there's the story I couldn't get into.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
That's fair.
Wasn't very.
I was having a problem with the Pinocchio parallel
Oh yeah.
for a while,
Yeah.
and then he didn't really
He didn't ever
have
become
the Force.
Yeah.
Like he never manifested, and I was really worried he was gonna. Like all I could think of was when he got the lightsaber, he's like programmed. You know, his programming is probably he's super fast. You know, compute time, so
Right.
he's being able to counter. But where did the kyber crystal? Was it in him the whole time?
It was.
It was inside you the whole
Like
time.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
like. All of a sudden he's like, I break apart, and there's a thing, and I put the thing together, and now we can fight.
Yeah. So he's revealed to be powered by a kyber crystal, and that's why
So the professor was a jerk. Oh, somewhere on this planet is a kyber crystal.
it's you all along.
Except he's not doing the hand thing because he has no hands.
Yeah.
Toes. His toes were.
Toes were doing it.
I think what we learned is Kyle Chandler is a jerk in this episode because that's who played the professor.
Who's Kyle Chandler?
Yeah, who's Kyle Chandler?
Super 8, the dad.
Oh, interesting.
What's Super 8?
Really?
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams, Steven Spielberg made a movie.
Was it a horror movie?
Yes.
Sort of.
Not
So,
with kids?
It was
Then I
a
didn't see
coming
it.
of age story with kids.
Yeah, I did want to see that, but I didn't.
Oh my God, he got high like he knew it. And then he was like,
I did. I
didn't
did because
see it.
it was the.
I have a Super 8 story.
because I keep thinking
ooh.
of the other one that has John Goodman in part of it.
arachnophobia?
No.
Because that can go to hell and die.
That movie's great.
No,
Are you talking about,
But
um,
yes, but no. No, the.
You scared of spiders?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, we learned something every day.
John Goodman was in the
I know
version where he like has a girl in a.
In a bunker.
Yeah,
Bunker.
Cloverfield.
That one.
Cloverfield Lane.
That's what I was thinking we were
Oh,
talking about.
yeah.
No.
For some reason, those are the same thing to me, and I know they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super 8 is a
Not
different movie.
Cloverfield.
Right. No, but it's all
No.
found footage, or at least
No,
that kind
this
of
one.
footage.
This one's more.
According to the trailers, which is all I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do it on the Catacombs and invite him over.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, but I have a Super 8 story.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I went to school, college at West Virginia State University. They shot Super 8 in Northwest Virginia. I had a professor whose claim to fame was and this is pretty much all he talked about. I worked on Super 8. I worked on Super 8. I worked with J.D. Abrams. I worked on Super 8. But what he did was he worked there, broke his ankle, got carried off set, and didn't work for them again.
No joke.
Right. But I worked on Super 8.
Was he an actor?
No, he was. Honestly, I think he was location scout for them. That's what his primary. That was his primary job for most of his
knocking
gigs.
on the door of the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah. That's
No, locations is hard. That's where I started. But
right. No, look,
location scouts are like, hey, drive around and find some buildings.
that's what he's good at.
That's what you do.
That's what he's good at.
Are they from the 40s?
Yeah.
He was kinda.
We're gonna go over here, see, and we're gonna find these buildings.
Yes,
it's gonna
the
be great.
Midwest.
He was kinda
Head on over this way.
weird dude.
Yeah,
But
I can
yeah,
imagine.
It's just like. Yeah, but he would tell the story. He goes, and we were like, "Oh, cool. How was it?" Well, I broke my ankle and I had to be carried off, so I didn't get to work on it a lot. But I did work on it.
I had
I'm like, "Yeah, well, you showed up the first day." Oh,
the college professor. He was like, I met George Lucas. Did a private screening once, and you hear the story. And I'm like, oh, what was it like? And he's like, well, at the time I worked for an editing company. And he was in L.A. He was a member of ACE, the guild. And they're like, hey, Lucas, Spielberg, a bunch of people are having somebody was having the party. Lucas and Spielberg were there, and they wanted to show Out of Africa. So this guy's job, have I told this story?
no, the first
No,
one.
but
This guy's
I think I had this professor.
Is it Dr. Ward?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's right. You both went to South.
Yeah.
So I've heard this story.
Yeah, so Dr. Ward, he goes, and he's retired now, but anyway, he takes the reel of Out of Africa and goes there, and his job is to monitor it, but there was no piracy back then, but his job was to monitor it, and he's a very litigious dude, like he follows the rules.
Right.
Mhm.
So he goes, and here comes all these people, and they're like, hey, why don't you come in and watch it? Here comes George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. He meets them all, and they're like, why don't you come watch the movie with us and hang out? And he's like, no, my job is, and he sits like a good dog right next to that reel and never leaves it. And he's at the party that literally probably would have changed his career because you're sitting in a room with that many people, you're on the inside, and he doesn't do shit with it. So his claim to fame, he would tell that story, and he was like, "No, just do anything better than that." Like he would tee you up.
And then
Here's
Just
a
do
lesson.
anything better than that.
he
like-
would, he
like
would
I
also
wonder-
tell you about how he, during his editing thing, how they put him in a closet because he wasn't part of
Yeah.
the guilds yet.
Yep, they would hide him.
That's like the career equivalent of getting home and going, oh, I should have kissed her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
that's the exact 100%.
Before we go, I want to talk off topic because you may know a little bit more about this, and I want to mention about
We
this.
don't go off topic on the show, sir.
But you reminded me, and I think it's kind of important. So Hollywood's going to strike.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yep.
So can you fill people in on this?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different things going on.
Learn a lesson. Learn something new.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a contract that was made by the Empire of the unions. There was a contract that serviced the studios.
Right.
So that meant if you were working in a studio city, Atlanta, LA, Chicago, that means used to be New Orleans. There's a set of rules that govern that, and it's hours and wages and all that normal stuff that union type stuff does. Then low budget came out and they made a modification which allowed turds like me to have crews on movies that were union crew,
Right.
Because we could afford to have them. But then this whole new thing came out called New Media, and New Media was like, what do we do with all this web content? You got to think back. This is like mid 2000s
Right.
to 2010. So a contract is generated called New Media. New Media for the actors, it exists in the same way. The scale is crazy. The actor rate on New Media is $125 a day.
Right.
In low budget, it's $500 a day. So there's a huge difference between that. Well, it's the same thing with crew. Well, the problem we've come into is they've never updated it. And now all the studios, Disney, everybody is running new media deals because they're all putting this stuff straight to streaming instead of theaters. And so now they're getting these movies made where the crew is getting completely destroyed because there's no money.
Right.
And so they're paying them less, worse hours. It's bad. And then all of a sudden now the studios are making more money, or the streaming companies are making more money. So they're striking because the biggest issue is their work days are getting insane. COVID's made it worse. I had a friend tell me, so you get 30 minutes for lunch from they used to say last man, last person. So the last person goes to the line and the clock starts, you get 30 minutes. Typically you get an hour because
Right.
unless you're that last person, whatever. And so now they're getting up that she went all the way through the line because you can't serve yourself anymore. It has to be served to you. It's slower. She
Right.
got to the line, last person, and then they're like, all right, and we're back in. That means they're
Oh.
back from lunch. So she didn't even get to eat her lunch. And they don't care.
Mhm.
And so there's an issue with that. There's truly an
Oh,
issue
yeah.
on that side
Yep.
of it. The other problem is their days are getting longer. They're turning into 14s as a regular. And listen, you make more money because you're into overtime at 10. So after 8, you're into overtime. So 14-hour day, you're making good money. But then most of these people drive an hour plus home.
Right.
It's rough. So the strike is to put up a wall and say, hey, we want to get paid fair.
Mhm.
So they've, as all union negotiations go, they've raised the ante really high, and then they'll negotiate down because that's how they do their stuff. So they'll negotiate down and we'll see it stop. And the people that are really taking solidarity, if you really want to show solidarity, you can say support ISA and do all that stuff. But if you really are going to do solidarity, you got to cancel all your subscriptions. Because that's what it's about. Every single one of them, you got to cancel them all. If you have video streaming subscription of any capacity, every single one of them is an offender because every single one of them uses that. Here's where it doesn't apply to commercials and studios. So here's the weird part. Movies mean something again.
Right.
Yeah.
They can keep making big studio movies.
Yep.
Right.
Right? As long as there's no streaming and they use a new media contract, they're fine. So it doesn't really slow the industry down as much as people think. It slows the smaller market down, which is where most people make their living.
Right.
Right. So we'll see.
It's
about to
and that's
happen.
kind of also how we got into the Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, Disney situation was from a lot of this popping up too.
Well, the new media contract is everybody has one. They all
Right.
are governed, and they all do favored nations, which means that everybody together has the same. The solidarity effect doesn't just go with IA. That means SAG won't cross picket lines, which means actors won't go. Nobody goes to see movies for crew. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
They see them for actors. So pretty soon what's going to happen is the people aren't going to see stuff because there's no actors to be in the movies, blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. So it's an interesting time. It happened years ago with the writer strike.
Right.
Yep.
And that's when we got this shit ton of reality TV that we now know and love called Survivor.
Right.
Right. So we could see a shift.
So
or
it was-
cartoons.
I was
Lots of
listening. I was
cartoons.
listening to another podcast, and they were mentioning it because most podcasts I listen to are people who work in the industry, and so they were talking about it, and then they mentioned the writer strike, and they mentioned how like the truckers unions and stuff would join this writer strike, and they're like, oh, thank you for helping us, and they were like, yeah, just don't forget us when we go on strike. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's a thing. I'm like, yeah, of course that's how it works.
Yeah.
You don't worry. If everyone gets together, it has to work that way.
Yep.
So,
Right.
oh,
All the unions stand beside
beside
each other.
So
So it's a big deal. We'll see a big shift. Content will change. If I don't know how long or where they'll do it. It depends on how they want to push back.
yeah, just pay them.
Quality could change too, though. Keep in mind,
Right.
every time if you take a standard 12-hour day and you suddenly shave 4 hours off of that, that means longer production times,
Right.
which means content's going to be slower to come out. And then the other part people don't think about that's worse is the budgets are going to go up, which means content will be limited. So we're going to see, it's a weird, I'm pro like paying, I hate the new
Yeah.
media deal.
Right.
I think it should be a fair deal. But there will be repercussions to someone. Nothing is just fixed. It doesn't work. It's a zero-sum game.
I'm okay with waiting. I'll wait.
I'm okay with waiting
I'll
too,
Wait.
but-
I'll wait.
I
I'll
mean,
wait.
longer production times also usually mean sometimes you'll get better content because they're taking their
No,
time.
not in this case, is what I
But,
think.
yeah.
I think what will happen is the longer production times is going to give us the same content.
But I think also because of the challenges, new innovations come. Sooner rather than later, they're all going to have their own volumes, and that's a smaller deal to work with, and you get bigger outfit. Because hell, when Disney invents a holodeck,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Not far away.
Right? It's just I want one. I want one in my house. So they're coming. I swear. It's just and this is also piggyback on the fact that I don't know if you heard that Stan Lee's brother and Steve Ditko's estates are suing Disney for the rights to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Sorry, did they? Because the article I saw said that Disney preemptively sued them to retain.
No, the rights are coming up. So last year, Stan's brother sued, and
Okay.
then they've done a preemptive thing for Ditko, and Ditko's family is also now back into it. What this really all comes down to is that Disney's making billions of dollars off stuff that these guys created, and they're not getting anything out of it. And they're saying it's a work for hire deal. Yeah, it was a work for hire deal, but it's also a shitty deal. It's a shitty deal,
Yeah.
and so after a while, you have to look and say, you got to do the right thing.
It's a humanity thing.
You got to do the right thing,
100%
and going
humanity
forward, you have to do right. you can still make $1 billion.
Yep.
Give a small proportion of them, be okay. It's not going to
Look, I can go on my rant about how it's bullshit. No offense, JD, that actors get all the glory when. Here's my biggest thing. The unions,
Because I've done so much work.
Yeah, but still.
Well, you have an Oscar.
I'm not
but that's
taking it away, but the union is doing
Dog name
all
Oscar.
this to shift all this, right? To make all these changes. And one of the big statements is they want to fix they want to increase wages for the lower class inside of the industry, which is just it's based on tiers.
Yeah.
Inside the industry, there's no mention of PAs. And I know for a fact, because I was one, I came up the ladder, PAs are still going to be at minimum wage, working the longest hours, doing the worst jobs, and no one seems to give a shit. That's fine, but there's nothing to give them. They need it, right? Because it helps you get better, but not the hours to where, if you look at the stuff that's happening, PAs are the ones that are driving the 16-hour days, 18-hour days, crazy stuff, right?
Right.
But they're getting paid $10 to $12 an hour. They don't give them, they give them bare minimum. 15 is what I think it is.
so
in LA.
PAs form your own union and within the union.
That's what they need to do.
Right, and just bargaining power, man.
But then, how do you have to have weird rules to how do you join the union, the PA union? You
Yeah.
gotta be like,
I mean,
it's like a fuck it clause. Yeah, you can get in. How many hours do you have to have? None. Just join.
One, you need 1 hour. You
need 1 hour. That's
you have
right.
to get coffee for one dude.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah.
That's it. You're in. Anyway, so I just wanted to, since we were talking about editing and
Yeah.
stuff real quick, that was on my mind.
Well, it's actually important because it'll
It's
tie
just
back
you-
into animation. I think we're going to see more animation coming out.
That's
it's
good.
gonna be
I
interesting.
mean, because voice actors are also fighting a lot of these issues because voice actors get paid the worst out of all.
right. They finally got where you know, at one time a voice actor you do 10 characters, you get paid once.
Yep.
Now it's like every 3, it's a different check or something. It's
Yep. That's a SAG issue,
yeah, it's a SAG issue. It's
100%.
terrible. Terrible.
and a lot of it's new media,
Yep. Speaking of animation, let's do The Elder.
which is my second favorite episode.
My
out of the
second favorite
entire
as
run.
well.
Yeah, The Elder is phenomenal.
Oh, Elder's amazing. It's a story of David Harbour channeling Liam Neeson / Harrison Ford and his young Padawan named Dan.
Going up against James Hong.
Who against Lopan.
Is that who it was? It
Yes,
was
Lopan. Yes, Lopan.
Holy shit, it's way better now.
Right. Well, he's my
Oh my
favorite. It's David Harbour and
God.
Lopan fight, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Or if you're a Rebels fan, as Morgan,
Yeah.
because same guy. But JD, I'm just fascinated with JD.
No, I've it's
It's a long joke.
it really is. It really is.
Did you have a thought on The Elder?
No, I'm trying to come up with the PA's union within the union.
Oh, I'm just.
I don't even know what's happening.
I don't
right now.
either. I'm just.
He's committed to this.
So, the first episode we started doing the new setup, we had some technical difficulties, and so I do some editing in it.
It's not even good.
And then,
All
and
that
so-
for zero.
And so in the editing, I put the until I get my own made. I put the Simpsons technical difficulty with the guy drunk and with the camera.
Perfect.
And then I played the girl from Ipanema. Like I found like a really bad cover of it,
It's the acronym. You got to read the acronym.
and then I got we got flagged for that. You can't use. So
He just went all the way in on it.
yeah, you did.
And it's not personal assistant.
What's the PA?
A production
Production assistant.
assistant.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've only ever heard of it as a personal assistant because I don't
That's
know any
okay.
production people.
Well, you're on the actor side. you would
have PAs. You would
Right,
have personal
that's-
You
assistants.
would think
Yeah.
it was a
Be
personal
like,
assistant.
fetch me water. It's not what I do, sir. Fetch me water.
Answer my phone.
With my wife, tell her I'm here.
To have
so,
power.
The Elder. Dan and his master, not Dan. I don't know what David Harbour's name was. He just sounded like Harrison Ford to me the whole time.
I loved it.
He was Harrison Quinn.
Oh.
Or Harrison Jin. He was like Harrison
It's,
Ford channeling Qui-Gon
yeah.
Jinn.
Right.
yeah.
The name is Tajin.
Tajin. You're close.
It's his
Whoa.
brother.
So we were talking about this in the car too.
We were.
Pitch us your thing.
Okay, so I know this is not canon, but I
He's
am
like working on it hard.
100% convinced that this story takes place at the exact same time in the storyline as Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan arriving on Naboo. I am convinced that they got to those planets at the exact same time.
I like this.
Interesting. So what is the...
Hear him out.
What is the... What are you... Okay.
I think that there's the potential that Sidious is like, you go there, you go there. Whoever wins is my, you know, like, because he had that
No.
that history.
I think it's a cool idea.
He had plenty of ones, and there's the rule of two. He's like, whatever, we're gonna have Dooku this one ready in case this one fails.
But yeah.
And so, I mean, I really liked whatever the former almost Sith guy was. Like, it was a really cool character.
He was great.
I
And I
like
like his
him.
madness.
Yeah. I liked his saber hilts. Like, I was like, those are cool. I was a little weirded out about the curved blade, but animation, so it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, light bends, right?
Hey, the Darksaber has a little curvy to it.
I'm convinced the Darksaber has something solid in it when it extends.
Like a lightsaber boner.
Yes.
Like a lightsaber boner. There's the episode title.
Yes. That's-
I don't know if I could put that as a title. I think we'll get flagged.
Anyway, I just
Lightsaber stiffy might work.
the whole
Light stiffy.
A light stiffy.
This feels like a forecast. Man, I'd go outside, but there's a light stiffy out there right now.
Temperature today is going to be 79. Watch out for that light stiffy.
Okay, better
In the
put a
afternoon.
raincoat on.
Hey,
Hey-o. Anyway, the feel of it felt very beginning of Phantom Menace. Like, I don't... And it just, like
'Cause it's
the
the
way
only- they're, like,
you said
on
his
their way.
name is... Not Tenjiro. What'd you say his name is?
Tajin.
Tajin.
Or not Dan.
His whole manner was very reminiscent of Qui-Gon's
No, but it was very
teaching
classic.
manner.
It was very classic.
Yeah.
What that era of Jedi felt like to me.
Right, like I
very
feel like they
reserved.
came up together as Padawans, right?
That's a cool
like,
idea.
Like Qui-Gon's over here with Dooku and Tangent. I don't
Not
Yeah.
Dan. Let's just stick with not Dan.
not Dan. David Harbour,
Yeah.
the sheriff from Stranger Things, is over here coming up under Coyote
Hellboy.
Mundi. Who knows?
Hellboy 2.
He was
So-
a bad Hellboy.
That's a bad movie. I think he's a fine Hellboy. I think Hellboy's a mess.
He was a Hellboy.
Yeah, he's the
In the new one.
Yeah.
It's bad.
He's a fine Hellboy. The movie's like, we have 25 ideas. We're not going to finish any of them.
Oh.
Credits.
That's a pretty good. There it is. There's the summary.
But so was it? They did they run out of money? Because that's how I feel. That's how I feel like Jurassic Park 3 happened. They were like
Directed from a laptop.
Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, one of the two. It's 2 or 3 was directed
Just
from
one
a
of the
laptop.
two. No, but we just said 3. No, but like,
No, one of those 2 movies was directed from a
Oh.
laptop. I forget which one.
because like Grant, you know, is in trouble. Here's a Spinosaurus. All this stuff. Oh, we made it to the beach. It's over.
Is that the one where like he dreams and there's a velociraptor on that talks to him? On
Oh
the
yeah, that's
plane?
the best part.
I think of Congo with like Amy.
I think of we already did this, but Dreamscape.
Oh yeah,
Back
Dennis
the old-
Quaid, baby,
the
Dennis
old
Quaid,
Dentist Quaid.
Dentist Quaid.
I had that shirt in my car. I should have put it on. Shameless merch plug. I like your idea.
I dig it. I love it. I love it.
It very much fits because so far all we know is it's after the Darth Bane events, so it could be in that time.
Yeah, because remember, like, even
Is it
in
officially called the Dark Bane events.
this is the Bane event.
Oh no.
Okay,
Saturday night Bane event.
No.
brother.
No.
Nihilus.
God.
In this corner.
HK 47. Suck it, meatbags. We're no, but like even in Phantom Menace, they've forgotten. I mean, they haven't forgotten, but they're like Sith don't exist.
Yeah.
Like they talk about it in
Yeah,
that movie.
but
So,
for-
and
that
he's
was-
like, it can't be a Sith. They haven't been seen forever.
They've died off.
Yeah. Okay. So that's actually my problem with that and in the Phantom Menace. There have not been a Sith in like 1,000 years, but they're all pretty aware of what they are. And it's like, well, but how much of that? I mean, we don't know how much of Sith
The only thing
is
I
in their
can-
religion or in history.
That's true. I would just equate it to like the Crusades. Knights
have-
Templar.
But we have talked about this. For a advanced galaxy far, far away, even though it was a long time, they have a very short memory. We've talked about this on this
That's true.
episode because Han Solo, 20 years removed from the events of Revenge of the Sith,
Right.
is like, Jedi, that ancient religion? a bunch of hokey stuff.
Yeah, like he was a
Boy,
kid.
what?
He was a kid when Clone Wars
Okay,
happened.
all right.
Like,
Yeah,
boy,
but
what?
Okay.
He's a refugee,
Okay,
basically.
here's that. There are billions and billions of people in the galaxy, right? Mm-hmm. A very, very small percentage of them are Jedi.
Holonet.
Not everyone got it.
Enough
Wars
that it
where
can't, but
fights
when
were
he,
going on every planet.
Now you have to remember, my opinion of this formed before we got more than one movie.
Right.
So when he first says
Okay.
that ancient religion, bunch of hooey, there's no other context.
Right.
And they don't, like, that might have been one of the things that sort of got overlooked when they made the prequels. That it was only that, like, they're not thinking about Han's line in A New Hope.
Right.
But, like, still, 20 years after that,
But there are a lot of
Luke
people,
Skywalker?
Yeah, but
you know,
there-
like, there's so much going on in a galaxy that people's memories are short. So I
Yeah,
could
but-
absolutely see, especially
but-
if
but so-
Jocasta knew or whatever her
But there's a
librarian
huge-
ass
there's a
is like,
huge-
Sith don't exist.
there's a huge portion of it, though, for me, that is there are people on this planet, and I grew up in a situation where I was part of a religion, I was part of Christianity, and Judaism, but so I got influences from that. So I understand stories of Christ. I've heard these stories. But there are people I could go tell a story, not saying Jesus in it, and tell this story, and they'd be like, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's on Earth. We're talking about space. I'm just saying. I think there's a big enough gap there where that stuff might be such a turnoff to people that they're just like, yeah, whatever. They don't care.
And that's a very
Yeah.
valid point. But I don't think Han was that tribe that we're not allowed to go to still on the island that's never heard
Yeah.
of technology.
I mean, he
But
lived
I don't
on
think
like
he
one of the
gave a
most.
shit.
Yeah.
That's what I think the movie Solo did so well. Is
Right.
that guy did not care about. If it
Yeah.
wasn't related to him, he
And
didn't
Kira.
care.
And Kira.
Jedi had no business with him whatsoever. They were
like-
the peacekeepers.
And like
the opposite of what he wanted.
Corellia, and I don't know what Caleb, you might know.
Corellia's not exactly a backwater world, but it's like
no, it's in the core though, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's like the Chicago.
Yeah.
right, but it's
Like if Coruscant is New York.
It's Detroit.
but it wasn't
Okay,
like
fair.
it wasn't like occupied by separatists or anything, right? Is there? I don't remember.
I
anything.
don't know off the top of
no,
my head.
I don't think
think
so.
I think
So
Coruscant.
nothing in canon, anyways.
So
maybe
it,
in
like-
Legends, but
So like if that even if he wouldn't even know, like if the two Jedi that shows up with the army, and as again, two Jedi shows up with the army, and so
yeah.
I mean, I also contend like with Luke, no one sees Luke do anything
No.
in those movies. The only thing the closest that we get is our heroes when they're on Endor, and 3PO flies,
Right.
and
yeah, the bunch of fucking Ewoks. see it.
and like Luke closes his eyes, but they just accept the fact that he knows the Force, but no
Yeah.
one's ever seen him use it.
I mean, because the closest thing that people actually see is the destruction of the Death Star, and then the Empire says, "No, that didn't happen."
Well, I mean, there is a little bit seen at the beginning of Return. Like he does.
Yeah,
like,
but
R2
most-
shoots
yeah.
the saber.
Right,
Most of those people die.
but
Well, Leia sees.
okay, so he is incredibly athletic, but it's not like magic.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of instances
Right,
where he's
I-
done
Well, it's
something.
Leaving narrative for a second and story structure problem that
Right.
I've always had is once we wanted to make more cool stuff,
Right,
anything in the original trilogy suddenly starts to look kind of bad.
right.
'Cause you're sort of like, ugh.
Like lightsaber
Like
fights.
Luke didn't do anything. You remember when like for a long time growing up it was like lightsabers can only be held by Jedi. Like that's what I remember for the longest time.
Yeah, that's why when like Han picks it up, it's weird for him. It's like
Yeah, and he's like he doesn't know. But then Grievous,
yeah.
he's got like 8 arms, and he's
Yeah, you
all the
had to
time.
have the Force to be able to
No.
know where
Until
the
then.
blade is so that
False.
you don't die.
Right.
No, but also remember originally sabers had to be held two-handed.
They
That's
were
what
heavy.
they were talking about because they're heavy.
Yeah,
like the power pack in them.
They
But that's because it was an old guy versus a robot.
yeah they
That's
they
right.
Changed, they changed it,
And so
from
now
1 to
they've
2.
amped things up, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm
Or
saying is like I think a
fortified.
lot of it is that.
Yeah.
I think within the story structure, if we stay in the, use a fancy film school word, diegesis.
Bless you.
If we stay in
Is that by L. Ron Hubbard?
No, that's a planet. It's near Dagobah, Jesus.
I thought that was the thing
Did you
that
say
started.
diegesis?
Jesus.
I thought that was that might be the thing that
And
started
canceled.
that might be the thing that started Scientology.
L. Ron Hubbard's
Yeah.
diegesis planet?
No,
Yeah.
you said Diegesis. Isn't that his book?
Dianetics.
Oh, see, caught you know. You're a Scientologist.
Oh, I'm 100%.
I hear you. I,
mean,
don't know what it is.
Prepare for a lawsuit.
I mean, if you're in film industry, you kind of have to be, right?
Prepare for a lawsuit.
Joke's on you.
We
I ain't
have
got
no
shit.
money.
Yeah, it's jokes on you. I ain't got shit.
Are you guys an LLC or should I file this individually?
It doesn't matter. We have nothing.
It's deesnuts.com.
Booyah.
Anyway, so I think if we look at that story structure, I think that the thing that I've always thought was interesting and maintaining it is that the Jedi existed. They had this group, this religious Pharisees, if you will, had this moment, and they had all this ability and stuff, and they led the world without anybody really knowing a ton about them. I think some did, but unless you interacted with them, I just think they were whispers and murmurs and all that stuff. Meanwhile, almost like in some ways samurai, but meanwhile you go in Japan,
Right.
the rest of they influence the rest of the world,
Yeah.
but we didn't know about them.
Right.
Right. There were murmurs and rumors. And then so you have that sort of vibe to it. And then as they expanded out, or if there was a chance to tell that bigger story, it just became that. It just became lore and legend and pieces just building up. From
So
there.
then, to our original point, let me throw something else at. Why they wouldn't know the Sith, or why they don't believe the Sith exist, right? Well, if somebody's able to hide a planet holding the clones, the librarian and the Yoda or whoever could have suppressed that information to not give new Padawans ideas.
Well, and we already know Sith ideology, like any dark side artifacts, were suppressed.
Yeah.
They were all locked away only for masters to look at.
So like almost like what's happening now. Oh no, like where people say the Holocaust don't exist. No, the Sith, Bane didn't exist. That's just a rumor, right? They could be rewriting history so that it
but
doesn't
maybe
try
that's
to.
because you actively care about it. And in their world, if we're making that argument, there's certainly things that you and I, in our own world, we don't care about, that we don't go research.
No, you're right. No, I'm just saying, but it's
I'm with you. I think the beauty of that development is that there's a lot more, which also makes for great opportunity. There's a lot more inside of that space than the linear path we've been given from the story structures we've been given.
But what I just had a thought. But if and again we know it's not canon, but if this story is taking place at the exact same time as
Which I
the
think
arrival
is a
on
great
Naboo,
idea.
it makes Yoda's hubris even
Yoda's
more
an asshole, and he knew about it.
even more dangerous because his hubris just kept building and building and building until he gets knocked down a Senate chamber.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hermit time.
Yeah, and I think their big hubris moment was the moment they said, "Let's not tell about our weakness because politics."
Oh, it's I was gonna send you that video. Did you watch that guy?
Yeah.
The guy that liked your hated movie, but he loved it because of the way Luke is the defender. Okay, or did I send it to you?
No, but I've seen it.
Okay,
It's really
anyway, we'll
good.
talk later.
Yeah.
It's a TikTok. This guy had a really good point about Last Jedi, but it was
Well, I'll have to watch that. We'll bring that up next week.
it was just about how actually it is Luke acting like Luke should be acting, which was very interesting. So the fan in us hate it, right? But the story arc of Luke.
If it's what I remember, they start talking, and we'll talk about it later, but
Yeah.
I can defend it, and he's still wrong.
Next week.
Wait up, Ryan on our parade,
Oh, why is it always Ryan on me?
like a rhinestone.
in space.
The Book of Boba Fett comes out December 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
That is so late Christmas present, early New Year's present.
Sure.
Did anybody watch the Halloween thing?
I did.
Oh, dude,
I haven't
there's
yet.
some references.
I'm gonna. I mean, again, that was like we were talking earlier, and he was like, "Hey, are we doing this today?" And I was like, "Wait, that's out." He's like, "Yeah, it came out Friday." I was like, "I've been a little busy, but yeah."
Yeah, I was surprised it came out too. I was like, "Oh, is that supposed to be later?" And then I started hearing people talk about how it's out, and I was like, "Oh,
it was
I better
good.
watch it."
I thought it was fun. There's some great jokes in it. It was a little long.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Fine.
I like Christian Slater as the Knight of Ren.
No, the best part to me is Rip Taylor.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. I don't know who the guy is, but he sounds.
He sounds like Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor's dead, right?
Yeah, Rip Taylor's dead.
Pretty sure all the Rips are dead at this point. So
No,
Rip
Rip
Torn
Torn's dead.
died a couple years ago.
Rip Taylor?
Rip Taylor.
Rip Taylor's probably been dead since the 80s.
Also, just because we're in the same room, circle gets the block. Tim J. Bullock.
Right. That's why I was going.
No, he's not dead.
No, but I was gonna
No, but
tie that
Rip
in.
Taylor was on.
Rip
Hollywood
Taylor was always on Hollywood Squares.
I know.
Next, we lost Joan Rivers.
We lost Joan Rivers.
I'm trying to think of who else we would have had.
Hey, we're changing this to the Hollywood Squares podcast where we.
It's a good show,
So now it's just Jim.
Yeah, it's all Jim's.
which is all good. I like Jim for the.
No, they it's maybe my new favorite Star Wars character is the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, Rip Taylor is
So
now canon.
who
Nice.
was? Which one was Rip Taylor?
The Hut.
Gradala. He's introduced in the Freemaker Adventures show, and yeah, he's just
It's
always
Dana
been this
Snyder.
way. Yeah, Dana Snyder.
Yeah, but it's he's doing a Rip Taylor impersonation.
He just sounds like Dennis Snyder to me. He just says Master Shake. Every time Dana Snyder
Yeah.
opens his mouth, it's just
Yeah.
Master Shake talking from.
Which is great. Makes me very happy.
I never watched Hunger Force.
You never watched Hunger Force?
No.
Oh my God, it was brilliant.
Early seasons.
I can do a me world.
Good. It's not bad.
You just sound like you're being a jackalope.
No, I'm doing a me world.
That's fast can be. You'll never catch me.
I'm in kind of a special hail now. One left, one right.
The rock and pool is nice and cool, so
Oh,
juicy,
some
sweet.
It's all the same voice.
Yeah, I mean, Meatwad comes from that too. So if you can do Gollum,
My name's Bobby.
oh,
Like,
little Bobby
Yeah,
Gennaro,
a little bit there. Almost.
little Bobby.
I used to
Glue.
can do it real well, but I'm
Then your
way
voice, your
older
testicle
now.
drops.
Finally, they just finally dropped.
Little Howie
Nope.
Mandel.
Yep.
So Book of Boba Fett's coming out. What is one thing you want to see in this show?
Boba Fett.
You're not going to get that. That's not going to happen. It's mostly about books.
Oh,
Yeah,
which is weird because they
I
don't
want-
exist in Star
I
Wars
want a
except
new
for
version.
on whatever the planet that was,
Yeah.
Jeddah or not Jeddah, whatever planet Luke was on.
I want a new version of the Boba Fett animated holiday special bit.
Hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
I would like. What is his ship named now?
Slave 2.
It,
Pretty sure it's
it's
still
thought we
Slave
it's
One.
still it's still Slave One.
Yeah.
We're keeping it.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
it was not. We ended up finding out the reason they didn't put it on there was because of a different reason. It wasn't because they were trying to cancel the name.
It's just how Lego has always done their ships. They just
Yeah.
don't use the ship name. They just use the who
It's a
owns
fire
it.
spray.
And
Is that
then,
what it is? Fire spray.
Yeah, it's a fire
Yeah.
spray.
Yeah,
13
but
or
honestly,
something.
the only named ship that we in the movies is the Falcon, right?
Yeah.
We don't
Which
call
is
Luke.
the
We don't call
only-
Luke ship Red 5. We don't.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
I do.
I mean, I do too, but it's like
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 in
and
the
then-
movie.
and then like the Ghost, we get the Ghost because but other than that, what's other named ships? Shadowcaster?
That's gone though, right?
No, it's still around.
Oh, I was thinking the Outrider.
That no, yeah, that's not yeah.
Outriders.
Dash Rendar.
Outriders actually in Rogue One, isn't it?
I know it's in A New Hope.
Okay, I thought
Well,
it's
it's
appeared.
in the
I thought it's
remake,
appeared
or
in
the-
something
Counts
new.
now. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Taken off from.
I thought it's appeared in something new. As
It, may,
well.
it might be in the last, not last Jedi, but
It might be in the Rise of Skywalker with everything else.
Every other ship.
Oh, look, there's the Firefly. There's Serenity.
Listen, that was
Pretty sure
fine
that's
with
the
me.
Galactica. Like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, it's. I just looked. It's Rise of Skywalker.
Cool.
And yet, nothing happened.
They rode horses. That's what they did.
Space horses.
They rode space Odin horses.
Didn't they have 6 legs?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So almost.
6 or 5 legs.
Almost.
So
depends
Caleb,
on.
It's a cock leg.
It
Just gives
depends
them-
on if. Anyway,
so Caleb wants the holiday special. What do you want? What do you want?
from the Book of Boba Fett.
You know, what's yeah?
I don't have any. I like not having expectations.
You want more?
I mean, it's showing him on his throne, so maybe we're going to get
Want
some more Ming
Ming
Na.
Na?
We're absolutely going to
Yeah,
get
we're
more,
getting more Ming Na.
no lower half Ming Na. She's got a cyber belly.
It's all right.
I don't even know how that works. When
still
they
plug
showed
it
it,
in.
I was like, I don't even know. Like in that episode, I was
Like R2. Hey R2, can I borrow your thingy thing? gotta show Fennec a good time. Take her for a spin, so to speak.
wow.
hey, that's why R2 the best in computers.
She's like
know each other
clockwise,
real well.
clockwise, counter, counter, clockwise, clockwise, counter.
Slower.
I'm gonna try to find footage of that to put that over this clip.
Jesus.
But imagine those viruses.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Sorry. Before we do this, are you on Norton's?
On Norton.
Jabba and his gonorrhea guards.
Or did you go cheap with McAfee?
Yeah.
And then halfway through, you just get an error screen.
You just hear old dial-up. Fax machine. FedEx twitching.
Had a good time.
Guess so. And those are the facts.
What would you like?
Timothy Oliphant's character back.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
Cobb Vanth. I think
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what's his name? The cowboy hat guy.
JC.
No.
No.
Bane. What's his name?
Oh,
Cad
Cad
Bane.
Bane.
Cad Bane.
So a live version of
Yeah.
Cad Bane.
Oh yeah.
Because he was really cool in Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cad Bane. I like a live action Cad. I mean, look, I got a live action Ahsoka. I'm okay with that.
Well, so the thing is, though, it's probably going to happen because Dave loves his original characters.
He does. He does. That's true. But see, like, I mean, Dave and Favreau are involved, but this is mostly Robert Rodriguez, right? It's Robert.
Which is why I think Cad Bane fits.
That's Cowboy.
Oh, so we're going to
Yeah.
see Antonio Banderas.
I see. I expected.
As Cad Bane.
As Cad Bane.
But he tossed like that bee. Remember the allergy bee pills he did?
He's also
Oh my
gonna be-
God!
Hello, I'm a bee. I watched those. Remember that? I was like, "Is that Antonio Banderas?" It was Antonio.
It was
Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
Melanie Griffith got all his money. He had to make some.
Yep.
But if
That
we,
works.
had like Desperado era Antonio Banderas,
Selma Hayek. We get Selma Hayek.
Oh yeah. Well, he always uses her.
Yeah.
we're also going to get like
Oh,
Junie.
Selma Hayek is a Twilight. I'm just.
Does that mean?
We gotta
we're-
go.
Does that mean we're likely to get a Tarantino directed episode? Because they're like best buds.
That's true. Or we're going to get like a weird Spy Kids episode.
I don't know. Tarantino may not know the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars.
Oh, maybe that's what
He
he's
would.
think he's making. And he's been
whole
talking to
time.
Simon Pegg. He's like, we're going to make a Star Trek episode. Where are the X-Wings?
Tarantino walks into the meeting and goes, "All right, cool, we're bringing Sam Jackson out back, and I'm using the N-word 25 times."
And pitch meeting done.
No, Kathleen Kennedy's like, "That's probably a good idea."
Oh my God.
No, I just think,
Do I look like Yoda to you? Do I look like Yoda to you? Am I talking backwards? Say Yoda again. Say it.
I kind of want that episode. I mean, if anyone can bring Samuel Jackson,
And then we get the old classic line from when it actually came out. Hand me my lightsaber. Which one is it? It's the one that said bad mother.
I'd watch it. Yeah, I kind of into this now. I'd take a Tarantino directed episode.
Is Dash Rendar a bitch?
It's gonna be a lot
Why
of
you fucking
talking.
like-
It's gonna be a very talky
It
episode.
would all
okay.
take place in the
Yeah.
cantina.
I would be okay with that. I would be
In reverse
I
order.
would be okay with the whole
entire
talkie.
time.
In reverse order, and then there would be one thing that in 10 years somebody goes, oh, wait, did you notice that under that chair? It ties the whole movie together.
Perfect.
We find out in Marcellus Wallace's suit.
That's right.
briefcase.
It's a lightsaber.
It's a lightsaber the whole
It's a
time.
gold one that
It's a
changes
gold
with
kyber.
his.
It's
Yeah,
just a gold
yeah
kyber.
it's the gold one that changes with his mood or whatever.
That's
It's
it.
a mood kyber crystal.
Yeah, I like this idea.
We don't need ability kyber crystals. We need mood kyber crystals.
Nope. That should be like a rainbow.
Oh, look, it's green. He's very calm right now. Ooh, it's angry green. Jealousy. No, I don't know.
Anger green.
Angry green, like Hulk. Hulk's
can't-
angry green.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're,
Deny it.
you're right. Angry green. I'm okay with that.
Do it.
I tell you one thing I want to see. I want to see Fett Carl as Starlight Pet. Yeah. I need that flashback in my life.
I agree.
I need that. I need like that's how it should open. You know, the explosion and it's just the hand.
And then Dengar.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
It's Dengar.
I mean, they've in the War of the. So I've been catching up on my comic reading. War of the Bounty Hunters. Dengar's been pretty big, and they're really building up like the rivalry between Dengar and Boba. and
So
that.
would you put Simon Pegg in it?
I would as Dengar.
Because Simon Pegg was Dengar in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe.
Only
He
if
would
he,
love it.
only if he at
He'd be
one
happy.
only if at one point he gets to say portion. I've saved your life. You owe me one quarter portion.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that would be good. I think
fun.
I mean, you wouldn't have to see him. Basically, he's Got the teepee over his head.
I mean,
I
he's
just think it'd be if the show is all the people that have wronged Boba Fett, and so he's literally got his little book, and he's just going after
yeah.
all the people that have wronged him.
Oh, so
right?
he's a dwarf. He's got a book of grudges, and he's about to just go ham. It's like, I'm back, bitches. Let go.
I think it's awesome.
I mean, when they first announced it at the end of Mandalorian, it kind of I got Sopranos vibes. I mean, or Godfather even.
It could be gangstery, but he's
Rolled
an
out
enforcer.
this Sarlacc. Got my rifle in my. I don't remember the words to the beginning of Sopranos.
I was letting you try. I was letting you try that. I did see the mini Saints of Newark.
Yeah,
I haven't
what
yet.
I'm literally
Not
leaving to
yet.
go do.
I was gonna. It's a movie, right? It's not like a movie show.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it Friday, or Saturday. It was
I-
not out yet. You gotta wait.
No spoilers, but I will tell you this. There is a fine line between imitating someone and parody, and there's a lot of characters they're younger versions in this movie, and I think they nailed that.
Well, isn't the main dude Tony's son, like real life son?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His name's
But-
Matthew
But
Gandolfini or something.
he's not. It's not his story.
Yeah, no, I gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not his story. So, but But I enjoyed it. It. It was fun. I would see more. I would see more movies in this.
Cool. Yeah, I did want to watch that.
So, I want to talk Cassian Andor next week because that finished wrap too. So,
Yep.
So we'll talk that next week and
The last 2 episodes of Visions.
Yeah, we'll talk. Well,
And give our final ranking, right?
Yeah, we'll do our final
Yeah,
ranking next
final
week.
ranking.
Yeah.
Because I finished 7 and there's 9, so I'm missing 2.
Well, you saved the best for last.
So I shouldn't watch the last 2 because Elder was pretty good.
I forget. See, in fact, the
last 2, have fun, buddy.
Okay, great.
I mean,
No, we all did it. So do you.
I-
he likes the rabbit one.
So I like La Pinocho, but I do not like the last one. The last one is
I didn't
the
mind
worst
flopping
one.
Ocho either, or flopping Ocho,
It's
or
terrible.
I feel like all of you are cussing in
hopping Ocho. I don't.
It's dumb.
But it's really anime. It reminded me of like Project Echo. It was really
super anime.
So I was okay.
Everything else, all the episodes I love are just episodes of Ninja Scroll.
right.
Let's be honest.
That's true.
Blood the Last Vampire. That was to me the first
Same
episode,
one.
you know, black
Last
and white.
Vampire, Ninja
Yeah.
Scroll, all the classics.
Also, next week I'm going to preview. I'll talk to you both about the new Star Wars RPG podcast that we're going to do.
Fantastic.
So I will.
Are you in?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in. Stephanie, who's
That's
behind
news
camera, she's
information
here.
to me.
She's here.
I know,
She's
I'm
in. Justina's in, and I will tell everybody. I will let everyone know the setting and their characters and how they fit.
Every time I have a bad day, I
Because
think about
honestly,
that.
look, there's been some Star
situation.
Wars news, but it's not a lot of Star Wars news,
Yeah.
and so it's not going to be a lot to really talk about until Book of Boba Fett, and so I figured in between episodes we can just throw it up. We'll just do a podcast. We'll do a RPG podcast, and so
Love it.
be fun and different.
It's going to be great. I want to talk like Nixon the whole time.
I don't think they'll talk like that.
I got to get the jowl right.
That's true. This is Sky saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours. And may the force be with you.
I knew you were going to say that.
I've spoken. I got it right?
No, this is the way.
Damn it! I have spoken.
This wasn't the way. This was
Bye.
incorrect. Toodles.